Are you traveling through North Dakota trying to fill up your passport book? Well, today we're at one of those sites. We are at the Knife River Indian Villages National Historic Site, and today we're going to take you inside the visitor center here and explore the grounds and get our passport stamp. We are Ryan and Jessica, and welcome to another episode of RV Destinations Unknown. All right, friends, so we're at the door of the visitor center. Let's head on in and see what it's all about. Now, this visitor center is open from 9 to 5 on weekdays. I'm not sure what their weekend hours are, but the door on the sign said 9 to 5. So if you're making your trips and you're planning to visit this visitor center, those are the hours. Now, of course, this is completely free. So let's head on inside the visitor center and see what we learned today. All right, friends, so we're inside the visitor center, and this place is packed with Indian artifacts and information about the Indian tribes that were here. This park has been around since the mid-70s, as I recall, and so over that time they have discovered things on the grounds where earth huts and such used to reside, where the villagers used to live. But check out some of the artifacts behind me. You know, Jesse is going around taking pictures for you all. I'm going to drop those pictures here as soon as I finish up and let you kind of take a look at some of those, and then we're actually going to head inside and watch the 13-minute video on the Indian tribes and kind of the history of this place, so that we can kind of bring some of that knowledge back to you that is available. And by the way, the Lewis and Clark Trail passport stamp is here in this visitor center as well, so make sure that you check for that. Additionally, the sticker for your passport book, if you have the collection edition like we do, the big book, you can actually buy the sticker here as well. They do have that in stock. So check out some of these pictures, and we'll see you outside at some of the earth lodges. So how about all of those historic artifacts preserved forever here at the Visitor Center? Absolutely cool. And as promised, we're fixing to head in, watch the 13-minute video, and then we're going to head right outside to the Earth Lodge that's right back over there. All right, friends, so I have to say the 13-minute video was definitely informative about the tribes that were here, the Mandans, the Arikaraans, and the Hidasta.
Something like that.
Something along those lines. We'll get them right. But, you know, it was narrated and portrayed by the bird woman, quote unquote. Of course, it was reenacted. But it definitely gives you a lot of history, definitely something worth sitting through and checking out. And by the way, the Earth Lodges, which we're fixing to go see here in a little bit, they have the geographical surveys here of those Earth Lodges. I'm not sure if you're into that sort of thing. Archaeology is definitely a fan favorite of mine. Shout out to Time Team. You're the ones who got me into that. But if you want to look at the geographical surveys of the radars done, penetrating the ground, those are here in the theater as well. So let's head on outside and check out some of those remaining Earth Lodges. All right, friends, so we're outside, and like we mentioned, we're heading over to see one of the Earth Lodges. Now, there were 3 Indian tribes that were predominantly here at the banks of the Missouri River. Knife River is the name of the little outlet here at the Missouri River. The Arikara, the Mandans, and the Hidasta were the Indian tribes that were here. And check out one of these Earth Lodges. Now, I'm not sure if this is original or if this is a recreation. My guess would be a recreation, but check out how cool this is. One of the things that we learned about in the theatrical retelling of these tribe stories is, unfortunately, the smallpox is what wiped out most of the tribes. They did end up moving further up the Missouri River, but it was unfortunately the smallpox that kind of wiped out most of the tribes. However, they all still do exist. There were still survivors from the smallpox through each of the tribes, so each of those tribes do still exist today. But these are some of the remnants of those tribes that you can see here at the Visitor Center. So let's head on inside the Earth Lodge and check that out. So one of the unique things about these Earth Lodges is they actually view the Earth Lodges as a living entity. So the doorway here was considered the mouth. As we go inside, we can check out a little bit of what it would have looked like inside one of these Earth Lodges. So let's check that out. Now, one of the cool things you notice is the buffalo fur is actually the doorway. How cool is that? And it's pretty heavy. All right, so coming into the Earth Lodge, it is a recreation of an Earth Lodge. However, it's very authentically done. One of the first things that hits you is all the smell of the timber. As you can see here in the background, they have brought in a lot of the artifacts and have recreated this to be as authentic as possible. Now, a cool fact about these Earth Lodges is they often were 40 feet in diameter, and an entire clan would live in one Earth Lodge. How crazy is that? Could you imagine living in one house with your entire family? Absolutely crazy.
It looks actually quite cozy. I like it. It's like 98 degrees outside, but it's actually pretty cool in here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a great point. The summer lodges were actually constructed differently from the winter lodges. So during the summer, you know, like Jesse mentioned, this is nice and cool in here. It's probably a good, I would say 10 or 15 degrees cooler than it is outside. However, during the winter, they had to construct these Earth Lodges differently to retain the heat. So unfortunately, they don't have a recreation of the differences between summer versus winter. I'm going to guess this is probably a summer lodge, given how well it's kind of holding out the heat and keeping it in. But this is definitely a stop that is worth visiting. It's worth seeing. I think for us, a rating, what would you rate it?
I'll probably say like a 4.5.
There you go.
Pretty high.
There you go. You heard it from Jesse. A 4 or a 4.5. We'll give you our official rating in the description below. Let's continue outside and look at some of the actual grounds where these earthworks were. So let's head on outside. All right, friends, so we made it to the site where the geological studies were done, and I'm not sure if you can tell behind me, but right behind me are some of the remnants where the Circle Lodges used to exist. Today, you know, if you're watching a lot of historical shows and they're doing, you know, geological surveys, shows like Time Team, that sort of thing, you'll probably hear these referred to as roundhouses. Like I mentioned earlier, and like you saw in the video, these Earth Lodges were about 40 feet in diameter, fully circular, and entire clans used to live in them. So check out some of these pictures from our day and from our experience. We're gonna try to fly the drone around and see if we can get some aerial shots. Not sure if that's possible yet, but stay tuned and we'll try some of that out. But yeah, check it out. Back there is the remnants of where the Earth Lodges used to reside. How about that? All right, friends, so we truly hope you enjoyed our visit to the Knife River Indian Villages National Historic Site. How about that? I got it right. We'll see you at our next Destination Unknown.